Hello again and welcome to another episode of the Franchise Everything podcast, where we talk about everything and everything. And today we're in the studio and we're joined by Gabriel Lawyer, who is a lounge repair guys franchise owner from ACT. That's a territory, isn't it right, Gabriel?
That's correct.
And you also look after some other regions as well. So your role extends a little bit beyond the ACT.
I cover a lot of the coast of New South Wales, South Coast and North Coast, Mid-North Coast. So
you do some Ks.
Yeah, I do a lot of Ks.
I bet you reckon them up on the car. So just for those who don't know, what does lounge repair guys do?
Yeah, we fix furniture, so mainly lounges, as the name suggests, lounge repair guys. So anything to do with the furniture repair, the covers, the internals, the mechanicals.
Just like, so we don't have to replace these if we've got a rip in them?
No, definitely. It can be quite economical to just repair it.
Yep. And you got a little bit of an accent, just a slight accent, I hear. Where are you from originally?
Yeah, I'm originally from California and been living
in California. Whereabouts in California?
All over California. Born in Southern California and lived in the Bay Area, so around San Francisco. I did a lot of my schooling in that area. But yeah.
Do you go back very often, or have you been back since much?
No, not too often these days.
No, it's a different place now.
It's totally different.
Very different, very different.
Yeah.
So when did you come out here?
I got out to Australia in 2001.
Yeah, and the main what were the reasons for making the journey? It's a big journey. Every American I speak to, or you hear on podcasts or everything, go, my God, the flight, how long was the flight? Like we do it all the time.
Yeah, not worth it. No. I came here as a young man and I was a bit of a bad boy. So
you said that to me in the pre-thing. What does bit of a bad boy mean?
I don't know. Just not
got up to stuff.
Didn't really do too much with my schooling and just a wild child.
Excellent. All right. So wild child, redemption is great.
Yes.
So 2001, you're out here. Yeah. And what was the reason you came out here? Like there was a family link, wasn't there?
Yeah, I've got my mother's Pacific Islander, so she's from Tonga.
Yep.
And her sister was here, so I migrated to be with my family. Worked at a lovely cafe in Canberra for a couple of years and and then just decided to stay.
So you were in Canberra. I grew up in Canberra. It's a great place. Love Canberra. So was it a family cafe business you had in Canberra?
Yeah, it was a family cafe.
So what was that experience like? What did you imagine? You learned quite a bit there. If you're a bad boy back at school, in your grades,
definitely.
You started from the bottom in a cafe.
Learned a lot about the Australian culture, especially the cafe culture, which is quite big here. Didn't really do. We had a American coffee, drip coffee in America, but then came here and you're doing the flat whites and lattes and all of that.
2001, you were still very drip coffee, weren't you? You were still very filtered. Still are a lot in many ways.
Yeah. Well, America, that's how they consume coffee.
Yeah, totally.
That's right. And Australia consumes it a bit different. So got to know that and got to learn the Australian breakfast and a lot of the Australian culture. And I came here quite young, so learned the Australia drinking culture, which is, I guess, any day is a good day to drink.
Which is incredibly healthy for all of us, yes.
Definitely.
Yeah. So how long did you work in the cafe and what sort of roles did you have in there?
Oh, I'd say about 7 years, from dishwasher to managing the kitchen, managing the floor, managing the staff, and all of that. So, I mean, as many roles as you can wear in a cafe. I did it all.
Every role you need to wear.
Yeah, pretty much every role.
So the move on from the cafe. So what was the step out of the cafe? You were 7 to about 2008. Yeah. So what was your progression? Because now obviously you're repairing lounges. So what was the progression from 2008?
I stepped into a customer service role in office furniture. So like doing office furniture fit outs,
So big corporate, like
very
floors,
corporate,
that type
very
of thing.
corporate. Yeah, and did that for a bunch of years and managing the fit outs and any sort of warranty type issues. I would be looking after that on a national level and just fell into that and have been working in furniture ever since.
So those, I'm interested in those commercial fit outs type of thing. Is the furniture classed in those sorts of things, the customers for them? Is it very commodity based? Is it just price based? Like we just want that
depends on the
price?
Client. We did both. So we did both. I mean, we did it for the education department. So for schools, libraries, banks, airports. I mean, furniture for commercial space I've done for a number of years. Partitions, desk, cabling, cable management, task chair, all the ergonomic spiels of this is what you need to sit comfortably and sit well.
Standing desks.
All of that.
Yeah. So can you walk into a workplace now without scanning it like a Jason Bourne for the fit out style of the commercials?
I could break down any bit of furniture now. I've handled
scanning it all as you're walking in, checking it out.
And gives you appreciation for how everything's made. I mean, just seeing that, because with furniture, you're really dealing with a wide range of materials, soft materials and hard materials, timbers and metals. And so you do get a good understanding of how materials work, how they get together, the pros and cons of them, some of their vulnerabilities. So yeah, just getting that kind of an understanding, and then you can apply that to pretty much everything.
So were you involved in the design as well? So you were helping people design their workspaces, or just procuring the furniture for it?
Mainly fulfillment. So I guess post sale, I didn't really like to deal with sales. I could do without being a salesperson. So anything after the salesperson does their component, I would just take the ball and run with it. So getting the order fulfilled, managing logistics nationally to, I guess, any after delivery issues, making sure that those matters are tended to and resolved.
So it was a real ops management type of thing.
That's right. And that's what my role was.
Okay.
It evolved to become is an operations manager for furniture retailer on a national level.
Excellent. So how long did you stick at that for? What was the time period in that role?
I would have been with that mob for about 5 years.
Yeah. And what did that take you up to? So we're in the furniture space now. So what was the progression to what you're doing now?
Yes,
so
even in that operations managerial role, we would have to utilize services from companies like the lounge repair guys to utilize their services to resolve issues with furniture delivered with issues. And I found them to be a very professional company. And just after 2020, I wanted to change things up. So
something happened in 2020.
Yeah, something happened in 2020, and it just seemed a bit. The whole world seemed a bit vulnerable. A lot of uncertainty in the atmosphere, and I just felt I've got a family. I'm married. I've got 4 daughters. So I just wanted a bit of security for me and my family to know that I'm sort of in control of my destiny and I guess the security of my family. So, I thought,
it's interesting, because I'm always very interested in that journey from, because everyone has got their employment and everything, but they're getting to a point maybe probably sometimes I think it's probably 2 or 3 years out where they're starting to get a bit itchy feet, starting to get worried. But that COVID time, 2020, is a real catalyst for many people that we speak to, saying no one wanted to take control. And I suppose the challenge is that taking control can be hard when you don't know what it is you're about to do, but you're in a very different scenario, weren't you? So you had a real advantage when there was an opportunity that you actually were experiencing the product already.
That's right. I guess I already had a pretty extensive knowledge base to lean on. I wasn't stepping into something, I guess, quite alien to myself. So I knew furniture really well. I knew the whole process. I know all the costs involved of importing furniture, supplying furniture, marketing, everything involved in the supply. And I could see that the Lounge Repair Guys was probably a business that was very well suited for me and my understanding of things. And I mean, I'm not a genius by any means. It's something that's quite achievable for a lot of people, I guess, depending on your level of mechanical understanding. Like how I was saying earlier about my understanding of materials, that really helps in understanding, hey, this is possible to fix or not possible to fix. So
I gather that can be trained as well. Mark has told me.
Oh, definitely. Well, I've got 3 technicians under myself that I've trained up. So, and I mean, I've started Lounge Repair Guys in March of 22. So we're just on the 3-year mark.
Yes. And you've got 3.
And I've got 3 technicians under me. Excellent. So the ability to train up a technician, get them kitted up with tools and a vehicle to perform these services, I didn't find to be extremely challenging.
So how long is it taking you to train them till you feel, it's intriguing, how long is it till you feel confident that person can go out and do a job unsupervised? What's the normal time frame from day one training, buddying up and all that sort of stuff? What are your thoughts on that?
It definitely depends on the person. Not everyone's the same. And I guess it depends on their level of confidence. Some people might come with a level of confidence in their social and communication skills, because there is a social and communication component of the job. Or some people may come with a stronger mechanical mindset. So working out how a recliner mechanism works might just be something that they just pick up really quickly. So depending on the person, the times can vary. But I imagine them having the ability to learn some of the functions we perform and the ability for them to go in and execute that, days, Replacing a recliner trigger for a manual recliner.
Yeah.
That's something that you see it once and you figure it out.
I was going to say, because you're doing a lot of same sort of work over and over, aren't you?
That's correct.
You'd see the same recliners, the same everything. You'd know it wouldn't take you long to start to
when
see
you
the
know
same
it,
thing
when
over
you
and
know
over
a
and over.
chair and a couch and a lounge, whether it be electric or manual or fixed, you just sort of you just understand it. The tools are a little different to handle these products, but it's not overly complicated. There are probably some complicated functions of the role, such as I find a lot of technicians find when we repair leather, matching a color may be challenging. You see the Ferrari red or mustard yellow lounges, forest green, and trying to get that because a few degrees of separation in color can be quite noticeable to the human eye. So trying to get within an acceptable tolerance can be stressful for some. I find enjoyment in it. So
you enjoy matching it up.
I do.
So your thought process then. So I know what attracted you to the business was looking for stability and that sort of stuff. So what was your experience of the brand in corporate that went, hey, I know there's something here for me to make a living out of? Because you're jumping out of a secure corporate environment into this. So what were the key things that attracted you from your rationale, from a person who's experienced in the industry?
Yeah, I guess just the challenge in finding a technician that can provide this service. Australia is a pretty big country and people use furniture all over the country. I don't know too many homes that aren't furnished. So in my position, finding a technician, I did find challenge in that. And I did see the lounge repair guys growing. They were based in the Brisbane area. And then I saw them taking moves to really expand, reaching into Victoria and Melbourne, reaching into New South Wales. And I just thought it was a good opportunity to work with this team that I thought provided exceptional service. So, and with my knowledge of the cost of furniture, there's a need for it. If you can.
Yeah, you mentioned, sorry to jump in on you then, but you mentioned something to me in our little debrief we had before this about your view of it. In your view, is about recession-proof. So can you break that down? Because it was an interesting way you put it to me. Because it's an easy statement a lot of brands use quite often.
For this brand, and something that gave me confidence with, especially with the 2020 and just a lot of insecurity or a lot of doubt in how the market was going, I just felt like this was a industry that was sort of recession-proof in where the economy is doing well and consumer behavior is up. Furniture sales go up.
Everyone's buying furniture all over the place.
And we work with a lot of corporate clients, so the retailers, and they need our services. The more furniture they sell, the more of our services they need.
Because there's more potential of damage and on warranty
transport
claims.
Damage, electrical issues. It could be anything. And some of our retailers give a pretty generous warranty policy, some greater than 10 years. Some offer lifetime warranties on components. So we're insured to get work through that. And if people start to pinch their pennies and watch their dollar, they might not go out to buy a new lounge. They might not have the thousands of dollars to replace a lounge. So replacing a seat foam on the one seat that they really love might cost a couple $100. So they might choose that option. So
choose to repair instead of replace.
Of course. So
and that was the thing we were talking about, wasn't it? Was the win-win for you?
Definitely. So it depends who you need to sit down and you want to sit in comfort. So if our customer is what we consider a private customer, somebody that wants to get their furniture fixed so that they can continue to be comfortable in it, or whether it is the person that's buying a new bit of furniture that needs it to be repaired under the warranty. So either way, I just felt that we wouldn't be disrupted whichever way the economy went.
So you're also a family business, aren't you? Your wife works in the business as well with you. So you've got your 3 technicians and your wife. Tell me about how
she's the big boss.
She's the big boss. Tell me about how you split the work. Because I know that everyone who's looking at doing a husband and wife team or a family in the business always likes the insights of how you manage it and what day-to-day life is like.
Yeah, so I'm on the tools, and I like to think that I get all the complex problems. She may disagree.
Those aren't that difficult, those problems?
Yeah. So, and she looks after all of the administrative. She's booking in the jobs, responding to emails. And if say a customer comes through and we're uncertain of what works may be required. That's where I step in and I review the images.
Technical perspective.
Yeah, more of the technicals. I might say, okay, we need to do this. We need to swap a spring, or we need to perform this function to repair that, and then she can continue. So as we both work together in quoting our customers. But yeah, she takes a lot more of the work from home, which is quite good. Sitting on the computer, making phone calls, responding to emails, a lot of text messaging. And the system and application we use is quite easy because a lot of the functions are quite automated. It's just just
keeping in touch with customers when you're on your way out to the job and that sort of stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, and how does that work in? So you manage your team. So how does it look on a normal day-to-day basis for you? So do you start off, they all have their jobs. So does your wife allocate the jobs from there and then everyone?
Yep. So we log into, we just get on our phones, we'll see our runs for the day, and they'll have a brief on, you'll replace a mechanism for this customer, just inspect this customer. So we have a full rundown and we have it pretty worked out how much time would be required on site, and our techs go out. If a tech gets to a site and the problem is something they are uncertain to, or there's a surprise, they'll call me and I can get them out of the weeds pretty quickly, back on track, and then we just move on.
So what have you found is the most challenging thing in you adapting from corporate to your own business? Like if you can cast your mind back to blurry days, like 2.5 years ago when you picked it up in March 2022, you said?
It was actually quite surprising that it was easier than I expected. I think the fears of having my own business and starting my own business were not appropriate for what the reality was.
So what were you worried about? What were you thinking?
That I'd fail, that I couldn't do it.
Even with all that experience, you still had that lingering doubt?
You never know. You never know. And just looking at the numbers look good, but you never know.
Yep.
You never know. And we just jumped in and just got into it, and the work was there. And I picked it up quite well. And I actually have a better home life balance with this business than I did prior as operations manager. It just felt like work never turned off, where now I have control of my own schedule, can be there for my kids.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting point, that a lot, especially with service type businesses, you're going out to do a job, you do the job, it's done, that's it. You see, you've got your run for tomorrow, but there's nothing you're doing in between.
No, that's right.
The end of that day and the start of the next, really, that is, as many, yes, you've probably got invoicing and stuff like that, and a bit of paperwork, of course, in normal business management. But
that's right.
You're right. I remember being in corporate, and it never stops. BlackBerry. At that time, I was, always emails
my phone
always
never
coming
turned
through.
Off. Yeah. And I guess with it being my own business, and I guess giving myself the ability to turn it off and to switch off. So I have that freedom now, where I guess when I had an employer, I just felt a need choice. To perform.
Yeah.
To perform to.
I mean, now we've got that now, just as we're all out of corporate, now they've got the right, what is it called? The right to switch off or something like that, or the right to disconnect. They've now got those they've got those laws now, the right to disconnect. Okay. So that was, can you unpick those thoughts? And actually, what I want to know is the thresholds in the business. So you got through that first part. It wasn't as hard as you thought it was going to be, which is great. Yep. Were there particular climbing thresholds in the business that were noticeable, like where it was just you? When did you get to the point where you wanted to hire a second person, like another technician?
Well, that was a surprise. One of our corporate clients, one of our larger clients, wanted coverage in an area where they just didn't have coverage, and I put my hand up for it, and that was step one. And that was in the mid-north coast of the Coffs Harbour, Port Macquarie area. Yeah, and that area just really ramped up, and I was just getting stretched. So I brought on another technician. Yep, hired him, got a vehicle, trained him up, and that relationship's worked quite well. And just of recent, I've hired on a new technician in the Canberra area, and then we're getting another technician as well. So we'll be covering the Wollongong area, based in Wollongong, based in Port Macquarie, based in Canberra.
So that's quite a spread, isn't it?
Yeah, it's dancing around Sydney.
So it's a few vehicle leases, it's all sorts of stuff there covering it. But I suppose when you've got that, it's the national contracts give you the security for that, I suppose, because you've got those national client contracts. That's right. So what's the future for you? What do you think? Are you going to get off the tools and go to more of management and potentially pick up another territory, or what does the potential future look like for you?
letting go of the tools will be hard. I like tools.
Do you?
I like being on the tools.
Got to get off those tools. I know. Does everyone tell you that?
So I'll try to manage. Yeah, I'll manage with maybe a earbud in and on the phone and on the tools at the same time. Multitask. I probably look into, at this stage, probably just focusing on the 3 technicians plus me. And really maximizing the business, and then maybe reviewing in a year or 2 to see where we want to go from there.
So what's the difference for you in running a territory with a person on it compared to purchasing that territory? So it becomes a value proposition. I suppose it's an asset you own then. If you're managing that territory, you don't technically own that one, because this gives you the ability to spread out for a bit, test those regions out, doesn't it?
Definitely. I guess for me, it's the strategy I have is just to boost up the lounge repair guys, because we have a corporate client. The value in having the ability to service our clients in a wider area helps the brand overall. So that's my strategy, is just to give us, I guess, more brand recognition for our corporate clients, just to cover the areas where they need covered. With the ownership of territories, that's probably more of a strategic discussion that I would have at a later stage. But at this stage, just to increase cash flow and just to provide a better service for our corporate clients is the main purpose of, I guess, not owning a specific territory, but servicing that area for our clients.
Excellent. All right. Well, Gabriel, it was great to meet you, mate. Thank you for telling me all your story.
Oh, excellent.
And hope it keeps growing. Who knows, maybe we'll talk to you again in a couple of years' time. You'll have a couple of territories under your belt. Yes. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
And that's it for another one of the Franchise Everything podcast. If you like this, please share, subscribe, do all that sort of stuff. Make sure you make comments and that sort of stuff on there. It'd be fantastic if you engage, and we'll catch you in the next one soon.